What have you accidentally conditioned your pet to do? When I was little, I would constantly carry around one of my cats, Feist. Since my hands were full with her, I would use one of her outstretched paws to turn on lights whenever we entered a room. Now the little bastard switches them on and off for fun. My cat was upset with me because I wouldn't get up to give him wet food, so he turned the fan off and looked me dead in the eye. My roommate's cat loves these little catnip treats, and for the longest time my habit when I got home from work was to give him a catnip treat as soon as I walked through the door. But this one particular day I was really excited to play some Mass Effect, so I walked in, started gaming, and forgot to give him his treat. He lost patience after about 20 minutes. He walked over to my PS3, sat on top of it, looked me square in the eye, placed his paw above the power button, lingered for dramatic effect, then pressed it. Cats can be so dramatic, I love it. Our cat had impacted anal glands for a while. We had to bribe him with treats for him to let us look to make sure he was doing all right. Now when he wants a treat, he comes up and sticks his butt in our face. I feel like this is the exact type of answer this question was fishing for, lol. My niece loves to FaceTime my mom to talk to her dog. When the dog was a puppy, my mommy used to pull her onto her lap when she would get FaceTimed. Now the dog is 80 pounds and will jump in your lap if your phone or tablet starts making the default FaceTime ring. I picked my kitten up a few times to kill some spiders up high for me. So now whenever I pick her up, she looks up at the ceiling and looks for spiders. My cat will not kill bugs. She stares at them, follows them around, and will paw at them, will claws, but won't hurt it. I would love to be able to get her to kill a damn water bug, but she thinks they're just toys, lol. Same thing with my cat. Recently a stink bug found its way into my room. I swatted it but only managed to make it drop to the floor. I left it for my cat to toy with, but he was curious and slapped it around a few times and didn't finish it off. Somewhere along the way, my dog learned get your toy means to pick up his nearest toy. I didn't purposely train him to do it, but it's good for when Hess about to leave one of them outside and I want him to bring it in. If Terry's no toy around and I say this, he'll grab the nearest soft thing, usually some piece of clothing laying around. One time he tried to pick up the cat. My dog knew he would always get some ice to chew when I went to the fridge, so any time he heard the ice machine on the fridge start, he would come running in. Once he became deaf, he would feel the vibrations in the floor from it and knew it was ice time. My dogs know the sound of ice too. We don't even use ice. It had been 100% from visitors. I would playfully grab, not hard, really light, my dog's snout whenever we're playing. He somehow figured out it's my favorite thing to do whenever he comes over to me. So now, every time he senses that I'm upset or sees that I'm crying, he would come up to me and gently put his snout in my hand. Similar, I grab my dog's snout when she barks through excitement. Only lightly, she can pull away easily. Now whenever she barks with excitement, she looks at me and sticks her muzzle in my hand, lol. If she's excited or scared of anything, laying with her snout in my hand calms her down too. The fact she does it to calm herself, my heart. I take baths with my cat by letting her float in a plastic box. I keep the box in my closet. I only started doing this about a month ago, but now when I turn the bathwater on, she runs to the closet and jumps in her box. Please pay your bath cat tax. Check her post history. Lots of cute bath cat tax payments. Edit said is not her post history. So there is. D. I conditioned my cats to use the scratching post with treats and pets and lots of good boy. For the last 7 years, whenever I have to tell my one cat to stop chewing on something or anything like that, he goes to that post and scratches furiously, looking at me like, but I'm a good boy. Every morning when I wake up, I rub my dog's belly. Now whenever I say good morning, she will lay on her back for belly scratches. Edit, this is my most upvoted comment on Reddit so far. So I figured I'd share some other funny stuff my dog does. 1. She's crazy about carrots and pumpkin, and I usually chop it on a wooden cooking board, so it makes a characteristic sound when the knife hits the board. Whenever she hears the sound of chopping, she bolts to the kitchen to ask for some. She only comes when it's carrots or pumpkin. Any other vegetable and she couldn't care less. 2. She waits until everyone had finished their meals to go eat hers. As soon as we leave the table, she goes to her bowl and eats her food. And when she's done, she turns it upside down to let us know it's empty. 3. I live in an apartment building and the doorman always lets us know when there's visitors coming up, so when the intercom rings she goes straight to the door, waiting for whoever it is and barking like crazy. She only barks for this specific reason. She usually sneezes to draw our attention instead of barking. There's so much more, but I won't linger on. But she's a good girl and I love her. Note, English is not my first language, so I apologize for any mistakes. Piggybacking off of you. When I was younger, my mom and dad had every other weekend with me and my brother. My mom would let the dog into the room to wake us up. Our first dog was a wild golden lab who would not rest until we were awake by any means necessary. Licking, faces being laid on, and standing on our chest. You name it. Years later we had a second dog, and when I was waking up my mom tried that, but I would rub her belly as I was waking up. What ended up happening is she figured out that if she waited I would rub her belly for a while as I was waking up on the weekends, which could take a while, and she got really defensive of that time. Essentially, I accidentally trained the dog to guard me from being woken up on Saturday mornings. That dog was super defensive of my mom, but she was even more defensive of me sleeping in on a Saturday morning. After my roommate got a cat, my dog answers to kitty 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 cause he wants love and or treats. The budgie had a broken leg and a little splint. He would climb to the roof of his cage with just his beak and good leg, then let go of his beak and hang by one leg, then just stare at me. He knew I would stick my hand in and he could just fall off into my hand. He only did this when I was around because I was the only one who would stick my hand in. I can imagine him doing it with someone else, keeping eye contact, only for them to watch this bird hanging and then dropping himself to the floor. If he hears me on the phone with my sister, it's automatically time for a walk. We usually chat when I take him out, and he is now very aware of that. Also, outside clothes and putting on makeup means I'm going out probably without him. If I take my backpack, I won't be back until after work. Hess happy that hasn't happened in a while. Stop eating your face. He has floppy jowls that sometimes get stuck in his teeth. I used to just casually say, dude, stop eating your face when it happened. On the occasions that he just happened to lick his teeth and spring it loose, I would give him a pat on the head and call him a good boy. Never any intentional training, but now that he's an old man, he's 100% responsive when I tell him. He'll clear his teeth out and present himself for his congratulatory head pats. Edit, I don't have a good pic of him mid-face munch, but here he is being floppy and here he is wishing you a happy and smiling day. Can you record this for us? My cat drinks out of a glass on my nightstand rather than a bowl. A couple of years ago, she was having some pretty serious dental issues, all fixed now, and was being reluctant to eat and drink. She had always wanted to drink out of the water cup I had for myself, and at that point I just wanted her to drink anything, so I let her. That was my mistake, and now she refuses to drink out of a bowl on the ground, and will only drink out of cups. She has a permanent cup on my nightstand, to this day. Oh well, at least it's easier for me to monitor her water intake. Editing this to reply to some repeat comments I'm seeing below, I was aware that cats like to drink away from their food, and at the time she had 2 different bowls that were not next to get food. I've tried every material, stainless steel, glass, ceramic, plastic, for bowls. She doesn't care. I wasn't aware that cats like being high up when they drink. That might help explain it. I see a lot of comments to get a cat fountain. At this point, since the glass on the nightstand doesn't bug me, I'm probably not going to buy one, mainly because of how many different drinking options she's rejected in the past. Haha, but if I ever want her to stop, that'll be my first try. Why are cats like this? Well, I did hear that cats in nature don't drink near their kill, as that water could be contaminated by the corpse, so that might have something to do with it. One of my cats, Nard, demands that we give him his food and water in his own bowl and his own cup. Not just that, but we experimented with it and found that the little bastard pays attention. If it's something we don't eat out of, like a Tupperware container, he'll meow until he gets the same kind of bowl we do eat out of. If we give him a little bowl of water, he knows we don't drink water out of bowls but out of cups. We changed his bowl to the 4 other style of bowl we have, and each time he meowed louder and louder until we gave him the widest, flattest cup we owned. He drank out of it and spent his evening fighting off the other cats trying to drink from it. Oh, and he will do his best to lay down on human clothes. Betting we bought specifically for cats? Nah. A nice puffy blanket fresh out the dryer specifically for him. Course not, am I nuts? A t-shirt I left on the ground accidentally. A pair of old socks that are just long and wide enough for him to lay down on. A super wet and cold jacket because it was raining hard out. You bet your ass he'll be on it by the end of the minute it hits the floor. I think he knows we live better than cats normally do, and he wants in on the club. Snart.